to the Travel Squad podcast.
We adventure the world together, one passport stamp at a time.
We're here to share travel news, tips, and our own adventures with you.
Every Travel Tuesday, we share stories on a variety of topics, including our hometown San Diego, hiking,
Weekenders, national parks, international getaways,
and inspiring you to go on your own adventures, even if it starts with your own backyard. I'm Jamal.
Brittany,
and I'm Kim.
And we're the Travel Squad podcast.
So grab your ticket and your passport.
And don't forget your travel insurance.
and prepare for takeoff.
Hello, fellow travelers.
Hey, squatties.
Welcome to episode 111 of the Travel Squad podcast. Today, we're recommending birthday celebration destinations and talking about some of the best birthday trips we've ever taken. And this is probably our most special episode yet because today is my birthday.
Happy birthday, Kim.
Thank you, thank you. I am officially 22.
22. I was going to say 40. You're acting like you're 40 these days. Not that you look it, but the way you're acting. I mean, we have the inside joke running Kim at 30, and sometimes I feel like it's going down, and maybe we're at 40 now.
Hey, I'm regressing. I'm 22 now.
Me too. Well, I love planning birthday trips and going on birthday trips. I think celebrating a birthday with a trip just makes it so much more memorable. I think that's better than a gift, and it's super unique. I can easily go without a gift on my birthday, but I can't go without a trip. Mm-hmm. And I think the only person I know that hates birthday trips is Jamal here.
I do not hate a birthday trip. I love a birthday trip. I'm of the mindset of Brittany, a birthday trip is special. Where she's getting this misconception that I don't like them is that because for the last couple years, maybe 3 even, I've been saying to her that I just want a birthday to do nothing. Like as much
boring.
as I love, no,
He's
not
40.
boring.
40.
As much as, yeah. So
Yeah, you're the 40-year-old.
I was reflecting the inner when I called you 40. It's really me apparently. But no. I really do love going on trips, but I just want one birthday where I'm chilling at home, relaxing. That way it can push on, because we travel so much during the year regularly, and as special as birthday trips are, I agree with Brittany, but I don't know what it is. I just want a birthday where I'm just like, just chilling. You know
so
what I mean?
Instead of chilling, Brittany plans birthday trips where you're hiking, crazy peaks.
Yeah. Yes.
And so, every year he tells me he's going to hate it. And then we get to the destination. He's like, thank you so much. This is a perfect birthday. So I'm just going to keep planning them for him. He actually gave me permission to plan next year's.
Oh.
I gave her 2 locations that she can choose, and I said I would be A-okay with it. And if it's anything other than those 2 locations, we're going to have a problem. So I'm going to throw it out here right now so you squatties can hear it. And if we talk about a birthday trip that we go on for my next 35th birthday and it's not one of these 2 locations, you can call out Brittany and say she was a liar to me. It's either Hong Kong, because we still need to go to Hong Kong Disneyland and finish that up. COVID ruined it. We were about to go. Or Cedar Point and Sandusky, Ohio. I love roller coasters. I want to go to Cedar Point and do the roller coasters out there. So unless it's Hong Kong or Cedar Point, Brittany's a liar over here. I say that with love, though.
Okay, it is officially on the record.
Yes, it is.
On the record.
All right, so let's dive in and go through some of the years of our favorite birthday trips and some birthday trips that we would recommend that you take for your upcoming special day. Starting with going all the way back to 2012. For my birthday in 2012, I did a road trip from Sacramento, where I was living at the time, down to San Diego. San Diego is where we live now. Brittany and Jamal were living here at that time. And we're in the car driving down, and midway through the drive, we decide to revert and go to Las Vegas first and add that onto the trip. So it was kind of a twofer, but it was really fun.
I just want to know how you got into Vegas if you just turned 22 this year. And you're talking about 2012.
Yeah, about that.
Fake IDs, it's all good. Let's not act like they don't exist.
So Vegas was fun. I mean, we got in there like at 3 a.m., partied for a day, and then left, came to San Diego, met up with you, Brittany, which was fun. Stayed in PB. And if you're going to come to San Diego for your birthday, I think PB is a fun place to, get a hotel right on the boardwalk and the beach and go out into the bars. But I would also recommend downtown, Little Italy, if you're a little bit older, maybe, you don't want to stay in the college PB beach town, those are really fun. There's a lot of clubs downtown. I've definitely done clubs for my birthday before. Omnia downtown. A lot of good restaurants here in San Diego too. So it's an awesome place to have a birthday. Since we live here now, I've definitely done a ton of birthdays here. For my 20th birthday, not my 30th.
Your dirty 30.
We went to the horse race track in Del Mar and got all dressed up. And then we went out downtown afterwards. It was super fun. Did my 31st birthday here in Mission Beach with a nice bonfire. So there's a ton of stuff to do to celebrate birthdays here.
Absolutely. You know, I really love how you mentioned San Diego. One, we got to rep our own home city now, number one. But two, we've mentioned this many times before. The weather here in San Diego is perfect year round. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say there's not certain times where it's a little bit cold, but cold is relative compared to other places in the United States. Cold here for San Diego, 55, 60 degrees, you know, that's cold. So the weather is always going to be good regardless of when you come and what month your birthday falls in. So I think it's always good.
Yeah, last year for my birthday on the bonfire, it was pretty cold at night, but go around the fire. It's nice and warm. You can do anything day or night here. I think one of the most epic birthday trips I ever took was to celebrate my birthday in Thailand.
That does sound pretty epic.
Yes. And so I wasn't actually there on my birthday, but my friend Che, her birthday is mid-October, mine is mid-November. And so we went kind of in between our birthdays. Oh my God. We have an episode on the full moon party in Thailand. It was so much fun. I mean, I think if you go to Thailand anytime, it's going to be fun. But if you're celebrating a birthday there, highly, highly recommend.
I mean, it's affordable, it's beautiful. And then when you guys went, which was like late October, the beginning of November, that's a really good time to visit Thailand.
That's an amazing time to visit. And this was back in 2017. So this was way before COVID. And Thailand knows how to party. They love to party.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, we have not been to Thailand yet. And by we, I mean me and Brittany. And every time you talk about Thailand, it really inspires us to go. And for whatever reason, we just haven't scheduled it for our next like big trip. So it annoys me every time we talk about Thailand because I'm like, I don't know why we haven't gone. But regardless of what you want to do, that's the good thing. Thailand has the scenic beauty, the history, nature. So you could do that. But if you're going for a birthday and do want to party and experience both or just the partying aspect of it, Thailand is a cool foreign country to go to and party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some places I would recommend if you're going to take a Thailand birthday trip. Phuket is amazing. There's so much fun stuff to do. The beach is beautiful. There's an elephant sanctuary there. Maybe you can go to a ping pong show.
Ping pong show. That'd be a fun birthday party.
Yes. Koh Samui is also a really beautiful part of Thailand. Koh Phi Phi. There's so many cool day trips you can take from there. And then, of course, Bangkok. I mean, Bangkok's really fun too. But the islands, definitely go to the islands if you're going to Thailand.
Dang, it makes me so jealous because I'm like thinking about my birthday trip from 2017 and yours is just so much more epic than that. But for my birthday in 2017, we did a road trip. And so you don't have to just go to one destination for your birthday. You can go to multiple. And we actually did a little weekend road trip to Redwoods National Park and Crater Lake in Oregon. And so we flew into Sacramento and we actually did this trip with Jamal's sisters. The Redwoods during fall season, super beautiful, starting to get nice and chilly. The trees in the Redwoods, tallest trees in the entire world. You feel so small being next to them and they're just so majestic and it's just really beautiful. We did cool things like the drive-through tree, if you guys have seen things like that. And then yeah. And then when we got to Crater Lake, it actually started to snow on us on our hike up. And Jamal and I got this really cute, beautiful, romantic picture kissing in the snow. But Crater Lake is really beautiful. And I actually would want to go back because the lake is so blue. And I think it's the deepest lake in North America.
Deeper than Tahoe?
Deeper than Tahoe.
Nice. Wow.
Yeah, it was actually created by a volcanic eruption that caused the collapse of the peak. And so now the lake is fed solely by rain and snow.
And there was definitely snow when we had gone. Like Brittany said, it snowed on us. When we went to the top on the hike that we were supposed to do, it was supposed to give us this beautiful panorama overlook of the lake. And when we got up there, we couldn't see more than 20 feet ahead of us because we were up in the clouds as it was snowing, snow coming down, couldn't see out. But on our way back down, then it kind of cleared and we got that beautiful view and can actually finally see the entire lake. But I do want to see it from the top, so it's definitely well worth going back for that and for you guys to make that trip. Because one thing that we really do a lot of for our birthday trips, and again, regardless of if it's birthday or not, I think a lot of people really underestimate the beauty of national parks, let alone the fact that these are great trips to go on. And so for that year, for my birthday, we went to Denver as the squad and we went to Rocky Mountain National Park. We obviously did a lot of other things with that too, but this was my first time experiencing Colorado, Denver in particular. And what an amazing state, what an amazing area. Had so much fun on that. We actually have a full episode 15, talking about our adventures in Denver and Rocky Mountain National Park. But I would highly, highly recommend going there. And one of my favorite things that we did to celebrate and party aspect of it was go to the Coors Brewing Factory. Do you ladies remember that? We did the guided tour.
Yeah.
And then when you're done with the tour, they have a beer garden down there. Complimentary.
Cheers.
Complimentary.
Oh, yeah. Not one, but two. And they weren't small, like, samples. They were beers.
No, they were giving you like pints.
Yes.
I loved it. So a really good time out there in Denver.
Sounds like the two of you gravitate towards national park trips for your birthday.
We do because, you know, Kim, our international or big trip cycle is January, May, or late August, early September. So our birthdays don't really fall in that unless we're celebrating Brittany's super early in September. So for our birthday trips, they have to be kind of little weekenders and they tend to gear towards the national park aspect. And I think that's really good for a lot of people. I mean, as epic as your Thailand one was, how many people can take that specific time on their birthday, unless they're planning well ahead to do that. But like the quick getaways here in the US, especially to national parks, so many of them, I think they're really good ideas.
Yeah, and they make good trips. I remember from Denver on your birthday trip, we went to D-Bar and got the
D-Bar.
afternoon tea. Oh my God, that afternoon tea was amazing.
Lemon curd,
The
so
cream.
good.
They do the whole tiered tray thing and it was amazing. But then they also brought out creme brulee on the side, was like on top of it
yeah.
even more. Oh my God, it was so good. Yeah, I'm still thinking about that.
Back from 2017.
Yes. So I know that my 2017 Thailand birthday trip was epic, but I couldn't just settle on an international trip for my birthday. So that year I actually went on 2 birthday trips. More close to the actual date of my birthday, I went to Miami. I fucking love Miami. I've been to Miami so many times, but this one was partying out in South Beach, going to the clubs. Club Space was actually one of the clubs that I went to. There is a bar in South Beach called Finnegan's Way, and we will be talking about it on our Miami episode, which is coming out next week for you. This bar is a must visit because on my birthday trip, I wanted to fulfill my Snooki Jersey Shore fantasies and get a giant margarita with the 2 beers upside down inside of it, and fulfill it I did.
Very
Did you drink
nice.
the whole thing by yourself?
I did.
Oh my God.
Did you get plastered and roam down the beach like she did? Granted, that was up in Jersey and you were down in South Beach, but did you do the same combo there?
Yeah, and scream out, "Where's the beach? Where's the beach?"
I could see that. I could see that.
That was a good year.
So in 2018, Jamal complained again that I was going to take him on a birthday trip, but I still planned one for him. I took him to Carlsbad Caverns and Guadalupe Mountains National Parks, and we actually have an episode on both of these, episode 39 if you want to hear more about it. But it was really cool because it was the same time that my sister was moving to Texas, and so she was headed out there, and it paired up so that she was able to meet us there for Jamal's birthday.
Oh, that's nice.
And my cousin also lives in El Paso, so her and her husband met us there too. So we had like this little family reunion for Jamal's birthday, and we got to explore the national parks, and we did some cave tours while we were there in Carlsbad Caverns, which if you do a guided tour, super cool, highly recommend. They're small groups. They give you all the gear that you need. And Jamal was like, I can't even be mad because this is so cool.
Yeah, Carlsbad Caverns National Park is amazing. I highly recommend anybody go out there. Now, granted, my birthday's in July. It's hot as hell in New Mexico in July, but have no fear because you are in a cave and it is like 55, 60 degrees in there. So it's going to be hot when you get in the parking lot, but as soon as you get in that cave, you're going to be nice and cold. So don't worry about the heat
They
aspect
actually
of it.
recommend you wear a sweater or a jacket in there.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, Carlsbad Caverns is the single largest cave chamber by volume volume in North America. So you go down there, you take an elevator down from surface level into the cave. You have stalagmites, stalactites, or you can hike the natural entrance in, because all caves have a natural entrance, and you can take the trail down, descending into the cave that way. So really fun, really unique aspect. I don't think a lot of people really have been in caves and get to experience that part of the earth. And we did go to Guadalupe Mountains National Park, which is actually in Texas, just a little bit south. It was a short 45-minute to 1-hour drive. There's lots to do in Guadalupe Mountains. The one hike I remember specifically that we wanted to do was closed, or at least they advised us not to do because there was mountain lion sightings on that trail. So we didn't get to do that. But Guadalupe Mountains has the 4 highest peaks in Texas, and that area preserves a lot of natural wildlife and the Permian fossil reef, because this area used to be underwater too. So there's a lot of fossilized reefs out there.
Interesting.
Yeah, really cool.
You
really
wouldn't
cool.
think that for Texas.
Not at all, right? But it is.
In 2018, I took another epic birthday trip to New Orleans. This was
Nolans.
amazing. Like, New Orleans is a party city, hands down, and we tore it up on that birthday trip. Went with a group of friends who were also from San Diego, and then met another group of friends there who drove from Florida. And so we rented an Airbnb very close to Bourbon Street. Oh my God. We just partied a lot. We sang karaoke. Like, the bars do not close. So it could be 6 a.m. and they're still going. And so were we.
I've only been to New Orleans one time, and I went with Brittany when we went with my family one time for a quick weekend in December. And this was before Brittany was 21. I was 21 at that point in time, but I didn't get to experience it the way you did because I was obviously with Brittany. But what we did do was go down to Bourbon Street. I would buy alcohol. There's open alcohol containers there. You're allowed to just roam the streets with open alcohol and booze. So I would buy it for Brittany, and we would walk the street, see the festivities, but we didn't get to go really inside to the bars or do anything like that in that sense. So I do want to get back out there and experience New Orleans the real way.
I would like to go back out there and not party as much.
Kim, not party as much?
I mean, it was like over the top, like 24/7. It was crazy.
But you
Kim is
went with
edging towards 40.
Yeah, but you went with a big group of people too. So when you go with a big group of people, it tends to gear that way to be like, oh, we're partying.
And it was my actual birthday when I was there. And so in New Orleans, they have this tradition that on your birthday, you pin a dollar bill to your shirt. And then it's a New Orleans tradition for people to give you $1. They'll put $1 on your shirt, $5, $20. And so you walk around with all of these dollars pinned to you, and everyone's like, happy birthday. And
Oh,
Who'd you hang
nice.
out with?
I ended up with like $40 or something. And they're all strangers, and they're happy they like doing it. It's fun.
They treat everyone like a stripper out there then, I guess.
There you go.
Just put it
It's
in your shirt, tuck it into your pants. Do they do that for men too? Because I'm about to go on my
Yes.
birthday. Oh,
Yes.
shit, man. All right. I'm about to make out with more money than you did. I'll feel confident in myself if I make out with more than $40.
You're adding New Orleans to the birthday list.
But not for 2022. This is later down the line after I have my rest year.
Okay.
So for my birthday in 2018, we went to Lassen Volcanic National Park. You're right, Kim. We can't get away from the national parks. We did go with Jamal's sister Nejwa, and we hiked Lassen Peak, and the elevation is 10,456 feet at the top. Quite literally took our breath away when we were walking up the hike. I was like, why am I so out of breath? And then I realized like we were at a starting elevation past like 8,000 feet. And so I was like, okay, that's why. But it's a southernmost active volcano in the Cascade Mountain Range, and there's a lot of hydrothermal activity in that area. So down in other areas, you can see like the boiling mud pots and things like that. So really cool geological features. And they have a really, really short season to visit Lassen Volcanic National Park because it gets really snowy up there. So the roads don't fully open until like July. So very short season where you can actually visit it.
Sounds like a fun trip. I haven't been to Lassen or the Redwoods yet, or Guadalupe and Carlsbad Caverns. I want to go to all of those parks.
But Lassen and Redwoods, it's so ironic that you say that is because those are close to our hometown.
I know.
Kim. They're right there. Not too far, actually. So
Yeah, I think, if you really crammed it all in, you could do Redwoods, Crater Lake, and Lassen in like a 2-day, 3-day weekend for sure.
I might have to consider that for my upcoming birthday.
Hey travelers, let's take a quick detour to talk all about our travel itineraries that we've created just for you. We now have 6 different trip itineraries. 1 week in Kauai,
An American Southwest weekend or road trip.
A week in Yellowstone and Grand Teton National Parks.
a road trip adventure featuring all 3 of Washington State's national parks,
Big Island, Hawaii, and an Arizona road trip that features all 3 of Arizona's national parks.
We are obsessed with these. These itineraries are 20 to 30 page PDF guides with every detail of the trip laid out. We're talking where to fly into, the exact route to take, where to stay, park entrance prices, where to eat, and driving distance between attractions, plus what things to see and do, even the hikes we recommend and their mileage and the time to allot for each one, and so much more.
We have story highlights on our Instagram at Travel Squad Podcast where you can see the full guides. We've done all of the research and have taken these exact trips, taking out all of the guesswork from the planning, so all that you have to do is show up and have fun.
Purchase your comprehensive Travel Squad podcast itinerary on our website at travelsquadpodcast.com. Best of all, they're on sale right now for $30. So travel on over and get yours today.
Hey, it's Kaylee Cuoco for Priceline. Ready to go to your happy place for a happy price? Well, why didn't you say so? Just download the Priceline app right now and save up to 60% on hotels. So whether it's Cousin Kevin's Kazoo Concert in Kansas City, go Kevin, or Becky's Bachelorette Bash in Bermuda, you never have to miss a trip ever again. So download the Priceline app today. Your savings are waiting.
Go to your happy place for a happy price. Go to your happy price, Priceline.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Baker's, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Baker's worth it every time. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
So in 2019, we actually took a squad trip to Chicago, probably one of the coolest birthday destinations you can go to for a city. I am in love with Chicago. I've been back since. Highly, highly recommend it. It was so much fun. The highlight is the architecture river cruise.
Oh my God, that was so amazing.
It was so amazing. Like you learn about the history of the city, all of the buildings, you're on the river. Pretty amazing. If I go back to Chicago, which I definitely will, I want to take that tour again just to like really soak it in and enjoy it.
Yeah, I loved Chicago. You know, a lot of times when we travel within the United States, if you haven't gotten the hint, it's usually to go to national parks, as you can see. So this was really fun to actually explore a U.S. city that I really, really enjoyed. And, you know, don't let Brittany fool you. She left out the fact that we used Chicago a little bit as a hub for one day, and we went to Indiana Sand Dunes National Park. So we just drove across the state lines, did a little bit of hiking at the sand dunes right there on the south shore of Lake Michigan. Really, really cool. So you can get some nature in too with the big city. So not too far for you to do both those things at the same time.
I'll always remember that trip because it was on that national park hike that the two of you got us lost, went the wrong way on a trail, and I saved the day by course correcting.
You saved the day, and that's the first time we had White Claws. Do you remember? And we opened the
Oh.
White Claws out on the beach. But do you remember? I don't even know how this happens because we're thinking sand dunes, right, along the lake. I wasn't expecting anything foresty or muddy, and yet there really was at the start of the trail. Do you remember just looking out and seeing that cloud of mosquitoes hovering above the
Ew.
mud that was there? I say this, don't let that discourage you from going because it is actually really cool. Just don't go the wrong way like we did to end up on that trail with the mosquitoes. Go the correct way.
Yeah, it was really nice to hike through it, and it wasn't a hard hike, but then we got to the lake and we could just sit there on the shores of the lake, way off in the distance, see Chicago, but just enjoy a nice White Claw by the lake.
Can't go wrong with that.
And that trip, we went literally over a weekend and we hit Illinois, Indiana, and we even went to Michigan. So, you know, we packed it all in there and we saw the Bean. We walked around the river. We had deep dish pizza.
Wrigleyville.
Went to Wrigleyville.
Yup.
Yeah. If you want to
We
hear
had the Italian beef.
yeah, which we decided
Can't put
we
enough
don't
beef in your
like.
guys' mouth, right?
But if you want to hear more about Chicago, because it is a very epic place to go, listen to episode 18. And then if you still have questions, DM us because we've been back and we have even more suggestions for you guys.
Oh, we're going to talk about Chicago a little bit later. Don't worry. We happen to have another birthday trip with Chicago to discuss. Yes. But for me, again, spoiler alert, national park. So this year we went to Channel Islands National Park for my birthday. Now, most people probably haven't heard of Channel Islands. As a matter of fact, it is the least visited national park in the state of California. We have 9 of them, right, Brittany?
Yes.
9 national parks. And this one is the least visited. But the reason why, if you can't tell from the name, Islands, Channel Islands. So it is off the coast of Ventura, which is north of Los Angeles County. You have to take a boat out to get there. There's several different islands. Each one is unique, but you can go snorkeling out there off the shore of those islands. You can do some hikes on them. We did that and enjoyed our time. And it was really unique going to a place within California that not a lot of people go. And I really, really enjoyed that aspect of it. And I think you guys will too.
So I actually did 2 birthday trips in 2019. So we went to Chicago right before my birthday. And then for my actual birthday, we went to Vegas.
Ooh, I think Vegas is a great birthday location.
There's so much to do in Vegas.
And it's expensive. So you're splurging on your birthday. It doesn't feel as harsh.
Right. And if you want to hear all about Vegas in general, we have an episode on that. It's episode 35. So go back and listen if you're new to the podcast. And I love going to Vegas, and I like going to see the Bellagio Conservatory. They always have it done up so nice. They change it several times a year. Sometimes it's seasonal, sometimes it's geared towards events, but it's always so beautiful, and all of the structures are made out of flowers. I highly recommend it. And then we went to Gordon Ramsay Steak because it's one of my favorite places to eat in Vegas. And we tried out a new place that we ate at, which was called Scarpetta, which had really good pasta.
That's the place we went to on another trip, right?
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
And you got that chicken Alfredo off menu that you just can't stop raving about.
Oh, my God. It was so good.
Yeah, so we've been back several times to Vegas. I mean, we live so close in San Diego. It's a 5-hour drive or like an hour and a half flight. So super easy to get to.
But I really think Las Vegas is a great place for a birthday, touching on what you said, Kim, because, you know, you can do Vegas, and I don't want to say cheap, but if you know where to look, you can not be spending a lot of money like people think you are going to spend in Las Vegas, at least more particularly like for hotels. You could still get nice hotels without feeling like you got robbed. But going out to eat, seeing the shows, I think that's one of the funnest things that you can do for your birthday. If you're of the younger mindset and crowd, there's lots of bars and nightclubs for you to go to out there. But my favorite thing to do in Las Vegas is go to shows and eat food. And that's my favorite thing to splurge and spend money on in Las Vegas is the shows and the food.
My favorite thing to spend money on in Las Vegas is
parties.
Pool parties. Although I don't have to spend much money because I'm a female. But yes, pool parties in Vegas are so much fun. They make great birthday celebrations if you have a summer, warmer month birthday. Unfortunately, I don't. So I've never been able to pool party on my birthday.
Speaking of those pool parties, though, Kim, how many more do you think you're going to have in you for birthday aspects of it? I know you said you can't really be out there for it, but how long do you think the pool parties are going to continue? Because, I mean, we've already touched on the trend and trajectory of Kim's hardcoreness when it comes to the party.
I know. I'm 22 now. I think I have a few more years of pool parties left in me.
You know, when I found out that you passed on Splash House this most recent year, I mean, you say it was because of conflicting events, but I was like, oh, Kim's kind of at that point where she's trailing off on the pool party.
Yeah, so maybe my pool party evolution will change into a daybed or VIP booth.
There you go.
Don't want to be slumming it in the water with the rest of them.
No, you need to have the private cabana for it.
Yes, exactly.
So 2020, wow, the year of COVID and a whole bunch of unplanned plans because all of our real plans got canceled. So we didn't really have anything set for Jamal's birthday that year, or I didn't really have anything set for Jamal's birthday that year until just like a month beforehand, but we decided to go to Yosemite. Well, I should say I decided to take him to Yosemite for his birthday, and he was agreeable to that.
I was agreeable to that because, one, this was 2020. I hadn't seen my parents since COVID. Yosemite is close to our hometown of Woodland, close by Sacramento, where we fly into. So I was like, all right, I can see my parents. Haven't seen them for a long, long time because of COVID. Go to the national parks. One, we love the national parks anyway, but it was perfect and conducive because it was keep away from people. We're outdoors, not inside. So it just really, really worked out. But if you're listening and you have not been to Yosemite, you have to go. I mean, it is one of the crown jewels of the national park system here in the United States. I would say definitely one of the top 5 for sure. There's so many things to do, filled with wildlife. We saw a bear. Kim, I know you've been and seen a bear when you went went up there too. So the likelihood of you actually coming across one, I want to say is high, but it's nature. I mean, you never really know, but they are there. And one of the most famous trails that we did in Yosemite that year was the Mist Trail to Vernal and Nevada Falls, which is part of the John Muir Trail, which then continues on to Half Dome. We didn't get to do Half Dome, but this one is great. It's really steep, puts you up into the mountains, taking you from Yosemite Valley, but you get to come across beautiful waterfalls along the way. The problem with me with the fact that it was July is it's later on in the year, so I don't want to say they're out of trickle. It's still coming, but if you come at spring when that trail is open and the snow is just melting, those waterfalls are going to be more breathtaking at that point in time.
When we got to the top of Nevada Falls, it started to thunderstorm and like downpour for a minute while we were at the top, which was a little crazy because I've seen thunder strike Half Dome before, and that looks a little scary. But it was really, really beautiful, really nice hike. It was nice to get out, especially during the year of COVID. And then we spent the night near Yosemite, and then the next day we went to Lower Yosemite Falls, and it's super, super high waterfall. It's like 2,400 feet, the tallest in North America, and the fifth tallest in the solar system. Did you know that?
Oh.
In the solar system. What an interesting fact that is. In the solar system, like they've measured waterfalls on other planets, like there's flowing water.
And it's 10 times taller than Niagara Falls. 10 times.
Oh my
taller.
gosh.
Not as wide, yeah, but see, that's another reason why I want to go back. I mean, there's so many things that you can do in Yosemite. We want to go back. You can do a hike from the base of that all the way up to the top. So I want to do that hike really, really badly. So when we go back soon, it's going to be for that.
I've been to Yosemite, not on a birthday trip, but I would definitely like to go back and see more of it. I just went for a short amount of time, but I would definitely say Yosemite is the most beautiful park in California.
I would agree.
Probably.
Yes, 100%.
Close with Sequoia, but I would say it is beautiful. Just be careful depending on when your birthday lands, because if it is in the early spring or in the winter, there will be some trails that are closed due to weather.
Yeah, so in 2020 for my birthday, we went to Sedona, which I highly recommend. If you even don't go for your birthday, you can go for like a spa retreat or a wellness retreat or just
Or a yoga festival like I did.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons to go to Sedona. I fell in love. I loved it so much. The red rocks are super beautiful. We did amazing hikes. We did one to Cathedral Rock. We saw the Chapel of the Holy Cross. And then we did the famous Double Bridge hike. If you guys haven't seen it, look it up on Instagram. Super popular, super famous. And we did it at golden hour, like right before the sun was rising. And then it was rising while we were on the bridge. So beautiful. It just like illuminates the whole valley with red and orange and yellows. And I got a pumpkin spice latte before the hike. So I felt like a true basic bitch on my birthday. But it was really, really nice.
Were you wearing your Ugg boots too?
No, I was wearing my hiking shoes. But I loved it so much that I'm actually going back this year.
You're taking another birthday trip this year?
Well, I went to Maui this year, but a few weeks after my birthday, I'm going to Sedona.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
2021. Today is my birthday, and we're obviously recording this a little ahead.
Happy birthday again, though, Kim.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
22.
So I am planning a trip for my birthday. Since we're recording this ahead of time, I haven't gone on it yet, but I am happy to report I finally settled on a destination after considering a million different places. We are going to Nashville and Great Smoky Mountains National Park. So spending one night in Nashville just to bar crawl, food crawl, honky tonk our way through town. And then
It won't take you that long because there's only 2 blocks.
I'm going to see. You guys really didn't do Nashville justice. So
Well, you know, we'll see. We had the episode on it where we went to Nashville, but really used it as a hub because, I mean, I guess we went to another national park out there in Kentucky.
surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise is right. But quite honestly, I know a lot of people love it. I'm really excited to get your feedback on it. I just didn't understand all the hype for the 2 blocks that is Broadway. Now, we have a friend, our good friend James, who loves Nashville. He says you can't go to the touristy spots. There is a place where the locals go that's better than Broadway and those couple blocks that they have. But I don't want to say not impressed. It was fun, but I thought to myself, everyone's talking about these 2 blocks. So I hope you come back with better news for us, Kim.
And I'm excited for that.
But I'm more excited for you going to the Great Smoky Mountains.
Yes. So that's a cool thing. It's like a 2-for-1 trip. So one night in Nashville partying, party. I got all my hangover cure recipe prepped and ready to go. And then the next day, we're going to drive to Gatlinburg, and Great Smoky Mountains is going to be beautiful. Hopefully there's still some fall colors that we could see, but I'm really excited for the place we're staying because it has a fireplace. It's like a loft hotel room, and it has a big jetted jacuzzi tub inside the room.
Very
amazing.
nice.
Hell
Very
yeah.
nice. And the perfect thing about that is it's going to be cold at that time in
Yes.
Smoky Mountains. Your birthday falls there. So the fact that you have the tub and the fireplace inside is going to be prime. It's not one of those things that it's just there and, oh, it's during summer. You can have it during cold season. So you could cuddle up with your loved one who you're going with on this one, Kim. And you're going to have a great birthday out there.
Yes, I can't wait to talk about it when I get back.
Yeah, and I can't wait to hear all about it because we are going to the South next year in May, and Great Smoky Mountains is on our itinerary. So I'm totally looking forward to hearing about what you did on this trip.
So I mentioned a little bit earlier in this episode that there may be talking about Chicago again because we did another birthday trip to Chicago. Well, instead of Brittany doing her birthday trip, we did my birthday trip to Chicago here in July. And so I was more palatable to the idea this year because I loved Chicago so much the first time that we went, so I had no objections.
He loves birthday trips.
No, I don't love them, but what sold me on it is that I told Brittany if we were going to go to Chicago, we have to go to a Cubs game if the Cubs are playing while we're there. Because I'm not a Cubs fan, but I'm a baseball fan. If you're a baseball fan, it has to be on your list. Obviously, everyone who's a baseball fan wants to go to every major league stadium, but that's likelihood is very, very rare.
Are you a fan if you left the game early?
We left the game early because we saw the weather reports and the thunderstorm that came in and the rain delay that didn't even finish the game for another few hours, which, by the way, I mean, being here in California, we are not used to the weather in the summer where all of a sudden there's random downpours. But apparently it is a thing in a lot of places in the United States. And that was happening there. So I was like, no, we got to beat this thunderstorm that's going to be coming. And we took the subway metro, and there's only one station right outside of Wrigley Field. And I was like, ooh, I do not want to file out of here with 30, 40,000 plus people and cram my way onto the subway right now. So that was kind of that. I'm a little offended you called me out on that one, Kim. But point being, if you're an MLB fan, you need to go to probably 2 stadiums in your life, Wrigley Field and Fenway Park. And so I was like, we're going to go see a Cubs game. We're going to go to Wrigley Field. We did that. We got to enjoy the great things that Chicago has, which again, their beautiful river walk. We got some more deep dish pizza. We went to the top of the Willis Tower, formerly the Sears Tower, and went to their sky deck, which they have like a little glass box that jets out from the window and you're standing.
That looked really cool.
Yeah, at least 1,500 feet up in the sky on a glass box looking down on the city. Really, really fun, really unique experience. Loved it, loved
I'm
it, loved it.
surprised you guys didn't do the thing, the glass thing where you like
Tilt forward.
Yes.
We did look at that as well, but we did want to go to Willis Tower. When we go through, you think you're just going to go to the top and get to the glass box, but they actually have like a little museum and kind of like a tribute to Chicago as you go through, which is actually really cool to see. And we hadn't been there before. Tilt is in the John Hancock building. We went to last time to get those cocktails. So we wanted to go to a different building with a different view.
Yes, that makes sense. And I heard you also got another Italian beef.
Oh, yeah. We had to put another Italian beef in our mouth, and we had to come up with a consensus of, did we just not have the right Italian beef last time in Chicago that everyone hypes about? So we went to the place that is highly, highly recommended. What was the name of it again?
Al's Beef. My friend Tony also recommended it, and
I don't know what everyone's talking about the Italian beef about. I'd rather have a Chicago dog, quite honestly. And
the Chicago dogs are good.
They're good. They're
and
good.
Deep dish pizza, so good. We had a really good deep dish pizza.
Yeah, of those 3 things that Chicago is famous for, food cuisine wise, I will say deep dish is my favorite. Chicago dog is next. I would definitely say overhyped, but really good. Italian beef, way overhyped. Sorry, Italians, but
hear me out,
overhyped.
Jamal.
I'm hearing you.
I know you already said 2 destinations for next year, and that's it. But hear me out.
I'm listening.
What about we go to Philadelphia and get a Philly cheesesteak?
Oh.
And then you can go to a baseball game there.
See a Phillies game? I'm down for getting a Philly cheesesteak in Philly. I've heard that the two places that are supposedly the best and the rivals that are across the street from each other, and there's the lore of who created it or what, actually isn't even really the best. There's another place. I forgot who told it to me. It was someone from Philadelphia. I have it written in a note in a phone, but I'm going to go there and try it out, and we'll see. I bet you I'll like a Philly cheesesteak more than the Italian beef. This I could tell you. Melted cheese, peppers. Oh, yes. I will love it more than an Italian beef. For my birthday, I don't know.
But this was a really good birthday trip that I planned for Jamal. We actually stayed in downtown Chicago, and we had beautiful views of the river and Jamal's favorite view of the Trump Tower.
I loved it. Loved it.
But because we were right on the river, we got to do like the river walk and all of that. So it was
That's
a perfect
nice.
location. It was really, really nice. So I really enjoyed that trip. And
Did you slip in a national park?
We may have slipped in a national park. Yes. We did one day at Gateway Arch National Park in St. Louis, Missouri. Truly don't believe it should be a national park.
No.
It should be a national monument. But because it was deemed a national park, we did have to go. And we did ride the tram to the top, which if you go there, you definitely have to do it. That's like the must do there. And we're going to have an upcoming episode on Gateway Arch in 2022. And we also took a riverboat cruise on the Mississippi River while we were there.
All good things.
Yeah, I feel like every time we go to Chicago, we go to another state. So, this time we went to Missouri. Last time we went to Indiana. So I told Jamal the next time we go to Chicago, we have to go to Wisconsin. Kenosha, Wisconsin. Cheese Palace.
Ooh.
We talk about this because the first time that we went to Chicago as a squad, we were debating about going up to Wisconsin just to knock off a state. But we said, if we do, what are we going to do? Closest city to the border was Kenosha. We found out what there is to do in Kenosha. They have a cheese palace for you to have that Wisconsin cheese. Just going to throw out California cheese, California milk, probably better than Wisconsin. Sorry, Wisconsin. I have to rep my own state. But I will go out there to Cheese Palace in Kenosha. I'm excited for it.
So today is Kim's birthday, but a few weeks ago was my birthday, and we just came back from a trip to Maui for my birthday, and we went to Haleakala National Park. Had to throw in another national park for my birthday, and we were there for 2.5 days. We did the beaches, we did the road to Hana backwards, and when you do the road to Hana backwards, if you do the full loop, you do go through the national park, and there's 2 awesome hikes to do there, but the highlight of Haleakala National Park is watching the sunrise above the clouds at the top of the volcanic summit. It is so beautiful and it is so popular. You have to have permits to do it, and I highly recommend that you do.
Yeah, it was a once in a lifetime experience. Brittany and I have been fortunate enough to watch several amazing sunrises in unique and different locations. I wouldn't say that this was the number one, but this was maybe number 2 on the list here of epic locations to see a sunrise. And I mean, just imagine you're in Hawaii going from sea level to where we were to above 10,000 feet in the span of an hour just driving. Crazy incline that you get to the top of the volcano out there. You're above literally the clouds itself, watching the sunrise come up above the clouds. I was hoping to see it come up above the water, but there's cloud cover, so you don't really get to see it come up from the water. But don't be fooled by the fact that you're in Hawaii. It was like 45 degrees out there, maybe even a little bit colder. So you're cold out there. If you're going to do Haleakala National Park for the sunrise, you need to bring like a jacket, beanie, gloves, etc. Unique packing situation for Hawaii, that's for sure.
Yeah, that is so random.
Yeah, we were driving up to the summit and we were just watching the temperature gauge drop. We started at like 78 degrees, like at our hotel.
And that's when we woke up in the morning at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then when we got to the top, it was like 47 degrees and it was windy, so it made it even colder. I was wearing a fleece and a jacket and a beanie and gloves, and I had a Turkish towel wrapped around me, and I was still cold. But it was worth it. The view was absolutely worth it. And then we did a little hike on this trail called Sliding Sands Trail. But you guys are going to hear all about that in an upcoming episode that we're going to have all on Maui in 2022. So stay tuned for that. And subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already, so you get the episode right when it launches.
Very nice. Well, that's a ton of good birthday trips for someone trying to plan a trip. I think gifting a trip for a birthday is an amazing gift. But even if someone's not giving it to you, plan a trip for your birthday. Gift it to yourself. But before we go, we do have a couple of questions of the week. So let's dive right into it. The first one comes from a very cheeky listener out there, and it is, why does Jamal complain every year when Brittany plans him a birthday trip?
I like how this submission came in anonymously, by the way. You call them a cheeky listener, they're calling me out, I guess, but submitted anonymously. I'm keeping track on this.
Jamal, why do you hate it?
I don't hate it. I feel like I answered this question earlier on in the episode before I even knew that this was going to be a question of the week. I love birthday trips, but as fun as it is, and I appreciate it so much that Brittany takes the initiative to plan the trip. One, I literally just want one birthday to relax.
When you're 85.
Nope.
Just one to relax. And two, as great of places as she chooses, realistically, I would like to throw in my input on where I want to go. I mentioned earlier how I gave 2 choices, and she literally threw one of those choices out on me because she's like, I don't want to go to Cedar Point because I don't know if I'm really going to enjoy riding the roller coasters all day. So by default, Brittany is picking for me. So I think it's kind of like a combination of all those factors, but I don't really hate it. It's one of those friendly banters of love in our relationship that I give. Brittany is talking shit when I don't really mean the shit.
What is that one overwater bungalow place you really want to go to?
Maldives.
That would be a great birthday trip.
That would be a good birthday trip. That
Might
would
have
be,
to adjust your schedule a little bit.
I was going to say, I definitely would because it's expensive to go out there. And so I wouldn't want to go for such a short amount of time. So adjusting our longer trips from when they happen, yeah, that could be definitely a good one to do, or would be a good one to do. I want to do the Maldives so bad.
That'd be a nice, just chill, do nothing, get a tan. Sounds fun. All right, question number 2. Where do you want to go next year for your birthday? We already know what Jamal wants to do.
Yes.
Yeah, Jamal wants to go to Hong Kong or Cedar Point, so we're going to go to Hong Kong.
See, look at that. It's already choosing it for me.
But I really, really want to go to Salem, Massachusetts for spooky season. My birthday
Ooh.
is October 11th. I actually have a friend and her birthday is October 20th. So we're planning a trip to go the weekend between our birthdays, and we're going to go to Salem to see like where the witch trials happen, the witch houses, really enjoy spooky season, see Boston, see the fall foliage, and just have a really good time. And I was really inspired by Kim's trip to this area. So I'm probably going to use most of her itinerary, which makes it really easy for me to plan.
You're going to love it. It's the perfect time to go there. It's so beautiful. Spooky season in Salem is very spooky, very haunted.
I just want to throw out, Brittany mentioned totally stealing off of you, Kim, and inspiring. So I hope what we talk about really inspires you guys to do at least one of these or multiple of these trips from that aspect of things.
So next year for my birthday, I really want to get more information on Sayulita. I really wanted to go there this year for my birthday, specifically because in this beach area of Mexico, you can adopt a turtle for 500 pesos. And when it hatches, because all the turtles come there to lay their eggs, when the turtle hatches, you can assist it out into the ocean.
Oh my God, that'd be so amazing.
I know.
That's
so
great.
It's yeah. And the $500 is a donation to the cause that saves and protects the animals. But it's like with a big group of people. So there's tons of little baby turtles squirming their way to the water. It's so cute. I've just gotten conflicting information on the dates that it's good for. If it's earlier October or later in January.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I need to get more information, but that is a possibility. This year I was actually also considering Cabo, just doing like an all-inclusive, drink, eat, tan, have a good time.
That sounds amazing too.
I'm glad I didn't though, because my friend Che, she just sent out some information on her bachelorette party, and it's going to be 4 days in Cabo.
Oh, okay.
Coming up in May. So that will be a fun podcast episode.
Awesome. Well, I hope you guys are super inspired to take a birthday trip or plan a birthday trip for someone, even if it's yourself.
And thank you so much for tuning into our episode this week. Keep the adventures going with us by following us on Instagram and YouTube at Travel Squad Podcast. Tag us in your adventures and send us in your questions of the week.
If you found the information in this episode to be useful, or if you thought we were just plain funny, please be sure to share it with a friend that would enjoy it too. And as always, guys, please subscribe, rate and review our podcast, and tune in every Travel Tuesday for new episodes.
Stay tuned for next week's episode. We have some more amazing adventures and tips in store for you.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
Squaddies!